Hi everyone, my name is Diane and this is My Pink Bathtub Knits. Welcome. Welcome if you're new and welcome if you are a returning subscriber. It's nice to see you. I haven't been on here recently. I usually try to get 1 to 2 episodes on a week, but life has been lifey and there's other priorities that are more pressing right now. So I'll try to be on as much as I can, but please be patient with me. And if you want to know when my episodes drop, you can always click on the little bell below. My McInness cardigan is done and just in time because I was rather done with it myself. Cardigan ended up being full of errors, kind of like me. And I am finding it very hot to wear. Also like me, seemed a little more heavy than I expected it to be. I'm not going there with that one. But I did do things rather differently in it, and let's explore that. I started with some garter rows at the base of the garment because it called for stockinette stitch, but we know that that would have just curled up on us. So I did around 10 garter rows. I also made it much longer than the pattern called for because I wanted to cover my butt. And at the 20-inch mark where you were supposed to separate for sleeves, I found that it hit on the widest part of my hip. And to me, that wasn't the most flattering spot. So I decided I'm just going to keep going another 5 inches or so until it kind of covered all those bits. And I do like the way it turned out. I had my friend Alice from Xuxiao Alice measure my armpit to my shoulder area, and I'm glad she did because we came up with 9 inches where the pattern said 7.5 inches. So perhaps that is something that you would want to explore, is to always measure certain parts and not just go by what the pattern tells you to. I use Kitchener stitch to seam up the shoulder seams. It ends up pretty much making an invisible seam that it looks like it's continually knit, so I'm happy with that. But this part here, I did the I-cord bind off, and it does curl under. I don't know if that's normal. I did decide to block it just to be on the safe side, and it still did curl under. But I'm happy with it. It's a good around the house thing. Depending on my temperature levels at the time, I may or may not wear it, but I'm happy to report that it is done and we can get on with things. The pattern is by Lion Brand. It is a free knitting pattern. I'm going to link it below for one last time. There's a whole bunch of notes on here, probably a few swear words as well, because I did find it rather frustrating. And I think I'm learning about myself as a knitter. I like smaller, quicker projects. I feel a lot more productive when I do them. And I think I'm so used to doing market knitting and small projects that I can churn out several pieces in a week. And this did take longer. And because it had to be altered and modified to fit gauge and to fit my body, I wasn't really a fan of it. But all in all, it turned out well. And I'm happy I did it. It was a stash buster. Again, the fabric came across rather thicker than I anticipated, but it does hang nicely. And because it's acrylic, it isn't going to be as breathable as a wool garment. So it's something to consider in the future if I'm going to make something. But when I blocked this, I just threw it in the laundry I threw it right in the washing machine with cold water, gentle cycle. And it washed nicely, so nothing to complain about there. I probably will do it again, but I'm going to take a break from this pattern for sure. See, I've already taken it off because it was rather toasty. I went to visit my friend Xuxiao Alice this week, or last week actually, because the weeks have all been melding in together lately. And we had a nice visit on a Sunday. No, it was a Friday. Again, don't know what day of the week it is. And we just got together and we knit. Once in a while, we will message each other through Facebook, and we will do a video chat, and we will knit and natter while we're on the video. Half the time, the video is probably pointing up to the ceiling, or it's kind of dark. We don't really see each other's faces, but we get what we're doing, and it's a nice little chat that we do on a regular basis, and I really like it. But this time we did an in-person one, and I went to go meet her, and she gifted me a beautiful bag that she sewed. She's not only proficient knitter, she is an amazing sewer, and she sometimes makes project bags, and she made me one. Now, she just made me one at Christmas. She made me two at Christmas, and I'm getting on the project bag train, toot toot, and I've been enjoying it, and I have been using all the bags I have received. I find they are a great way to keep myself organized and to keep all of my needles and patterns and yarn and stuff for one project put away, that when I want to grab it, it's ready to go. Because I do take my knitting out quite often when I'm doing errands. And lately I've been going to more different appointments where I have to wait, and it's always handy to have something ready to go in a bag. So this beautiful, beautiful bag is what she made me. I put this little pull on, which matches perfectly with the yellow in the bag. So let's open it up. This stands on its own, and it is got a wire in it. I just put some yarn in it to make it a little more full to show you. It has a wire, kind of like a doctor's bag thing, so it opens up flat, and you can get, I'm going to say, a sweater quantity of yarn in here with a larger project. There is a beautiful little extra pockets inside to put various things. She is so good at attention to detail. It's unbelievable. And thank you so much, Alice, not only for the bag, but for your friendship. She has really been there for me recently with a lot of different stuff going on. And it's also been great that I can talk to her about YouTubey stuff. So if you haven't checked her out, Soxy Nana Alice, she is approaching 1,000 subscribers. So let's get her over that number, show her some love. She is so talented, and she's very resourceful with how she does her crafting. We are ending February. It has been Alberta for the yarn of the month, and I do not have new yarn to share with you. I went on the Polkadot Creek yarn website because I was looking for a gift for a friend. I did purchase something I cannot show you because it's a gift. However, when I was on there, I was kind of perusing, and I saw that they have a lot of cross-stitch supplies that you can purchase through them. So I clicked on it and I went down the rabbit hole. They have over 200 patterns on their site, plus they have some kits and other notions for cross-stitch, and I bought something to make for a future project. I bought it for my friend Dude. My friend Dude is one of my besties. Her name is not Dude. We just call her that. And I literally call her that. I'm not trying to be anonymous with her name. Whenever I do say her name, it's actually kind of weird. It's like she got in trouble or something. It's like when your mother calls you out on your name, your full name. Dude is not only a really talented photographer, she is also a sewer. And she actually made me this pillow, birds on a wire. Who doesn't love birds on a wire? So when I saw this, I immediately thought, Dude, and I'm going to make this for her sewing room. Now, I don't know when I'm going to get this done. I was going to say, Dude, look away, but you don't really have to look away, because by the time I get this done, you're going to completely forget that I was even doing this for you. So this is what I found on the Polkadot Creek website. She believed she could, so she did. Get it? And I'm going to frame it, and I think it'll be really cute up in her sewing room. What do I have planned for March? Well, for me, March is mitten making month. I've been practicing saying that. Mitten making month. I'm just going to be making a whole bunch of mittens and sharing with you. I think I want to try and do a new design as well, so we'll see how that goes. Just gearing up for my market season. I have been collecting my yarn and putting it in bins of certain stuff I want to make. I'm probably going to concentrate on toddler mittens right now because they are the most popular mitten that I do. And I also might throw in one or two teddy bears along the way. I showed you this pattern, the Happy Scrappy Teddy Bear by Susan Claudino. I pulled a whole bunch of yarn for that, and I had to think about it because when I was reading her pattern, she does have stuff up here about her copyright. So I think it's important to respect others' copyright. I have a few patterns out there, and on my patterns I say for personal use only. However, if you are a maker and you want to sell my products in markets, I don't have a problem with that. I do ask that you just contact me and let me know that. And if you're going to be posting anything online, to cite me as the pattern designer. So for hers, she did say do not distribute this pattern, which of course you shouldn't be sharing other people's patterns, especially when they're paid patterns. Do not use it or items made with it for commercial purposes. So that got me thinking, I need to reach out to her. So I just contacted her through her Instagram, and I just said, like, I had posted one photo of the Bougie Bear pattern that I made, which I followed the pattern to the T. I am going to change the ears on this bear and see what it looks like. I'm going to ask your opinion which one you like better. Hopefully, maybe on my next episode. So I reached out to her and I just introduced myself, and I said that I do a couple of in-house markets a year. I do not sell my products online and ship them. And I was wondering if it was okay if I used your pattern, and that I would be citing you as the pattern designer every time I post a photo. I did want to show photos, obviously, of my work on Instagram. So I sent it off and I waited. She got back to me within 20 minutes, but honestly, it was the longest 20 minutes of my life. What am I going to do if she says no? But she got back to me. 20 minutes is quick, except when you're thinking in your head. And she was, thank you for contacting me. I really do appreciate you asking me this. And yes, feel free to use it and to sell it. So if you're ever uncertain, I think you should always ask, especially after you read through the pattern and if they have a specific clause written down about it. I think people are usually quite concerned that people are taking their patterns and reselling them as their own. There's a lot of controversy and people's opinions on patterns once they pay for it. I think it's always important to ask. I think it's always important to ask permission when you're going to be, for me, I'm just a little nobody business that sells stuff on the side. I don't have a website. I don't sell to people outside of my hometown. And that's what I choose to do. I like the in-house market vibe, and I don't want to get involved with shipping and all of that stuff. So thank you, Susan, for allowing me to knit your pattern and to sell it. And you'll be seeing a lot more of them along the way. Hopefully one next episode where we can compare the ears and I can get a vote on which style you like the best. The other thing I completed was my very long wrap from the MAL I was doing, which is with Gina and Judy from the Knitting Turnpike and Judy's Creations in Crochet. You still have time to do it. They've extended the date, I believe, to March 16th, but I'll double check that and put that down here. So I blocked this out, and I've never made a wrap or a shawl before. So after I talk about this, we're going to do a little fun trying this on and seeing different ways I can wear it. But it ended up being much longer than the pattern. And when I originally cast it on and was starting to knit it, the pattern said it was 9 inches wide, but I measured on the bias, like on the bias edge, and it was much longer. But once I got going, I noticed it was technically 9 inches wide. Once it was blocked, for me, it was 10 inches wide. Here, 104 inches long from tip to tip. So very long. I did kind of go rogue on the pattern. I followed the first section to the T. I did use 4 colors instead of 3, but three of the colors I used was only 110 yards because they were minis from an advent I did for Aberdeen's wool. So I wanted to use all of that. I didn't want to have any leftovers. So once I got to part 2, I started with the main color, which to me was my full hank of yarn, and it was the lichen and lace pressed flowers. So I kind of went along with that for a while. Then I decided to switch over to the last 3 colors, and I pretty much just knit them until they were done. So they don't line up perfectly with when you get to the yarn over section. I don't think it looks terrible. Let's get to that part. So this part here was I just knit them until they were done. In the this long section here is part 2. Then I knit the 3 colors till they were done, and then the lace part where it was all the yarn overs, I finished with the lichen and lace. I still have some of that yarn left, but I'm glad that I used up the other yarn, because what are you going to do with a little amount? I liked it. It was really nice. I really liked the colors. Someone had said they were kind of like Neapolitan ice cream vibes. I think that was Jude that said that. And they are. They're kind of a warm, beautiful color, but there's still some pink in it. So I feel like once I figure out how to wear this, I will probably wear it at some of my markets. Like I'm going to represent, right? There's some kind of pinkiness in here. So I thought it was quite pretty. Let's try this on and see what we can do with this. And there you have it. I am finding it a little narrow to kind of do some of the things. And I don't know how different a wrap is from a shawl, but if it was probably 4 inches wider, I could have performed some of those wraps, shawls, acrobats a little bit easier. It was a fun thing to do. I really do like the colors, and I'm really happy that I was finally able to use some of my minis that I got from my advents. It's almost time to start thinking about buying advents for next year. I know Polkadot Creek is posting their advent sales effective April the 1st, and it is 10% off for the month of April. So I have been looking a lot at those. Maybe I'll make another sweater with their advent. I don't know. So I have to start thinking about that. I will be making mittens for the month of March with a few other things. And March is also going to be Saskatchewan yarn, which I have all ready to go. So I'm excited to share that with you as well. And I just hope you're all doing well and getting through this winter. We've just gotten a lot more snow here in Manitoba. So they usually say when it comes in like a lion, it goes out like a lamb, or vice versa. We have not had a lot of snow this winter. It's been very mild and very spring-like around here. So we'll see what the next phase of winter is going to be for us. Thank you for spending some of your time with me today. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the well wishes that I've received. I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. And until then, my friends, take care and bye for now.